iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
Oh my gosh, we've been waiting so long for this to be able to share it with New Yorkers and just on this sort of level. So many people are coming and seeing themselves and being moved, and I think it's just super rewarding. And also, yeah, working with John has been just so beautiful. This is the longest artistic relationship that I have had in my life thus far, and it's been really awesome to see how both of us have sort of become more vulnerable over the years, honestly, years with these characters. And it's just, I think, given such life to Allie and Noah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, Jordan and I started the process together in Chicago. I remember the first day that we met, and to think how far we've come. There's so much trust built up over time that we're really there's so much trust that we're really able to lean into the romance every night and know that we have a partner who's ready to receive whatever energy we have on any given night. It's pretty special. I mean, I think the material is written in such a way that it really invites both the artist and the audience to sort of imprint their own memories in what's happening. So in a sense, there's a lot of intersection of character and self. In terms of what I found pretty challenging is that Noah is a very, very grounded, very, very calm person. And that is kind of a contrast to the feelings that you might get when you're stepping on stage and you're aware of being watched. And so it's really taking the time before the show to make sure that you're in the right mindset before you step out, that those sort of, jitters are appropriately managed and placed so that you can still sort of capture his very sort of like earthy, grounded essence. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, like you said, I think these characters demand a lot of ourselves to be brought. But Allie and I have very different upbringings. I think that, first of all, she's an only child. There's a lot of pressure put on her. And so she's sort of, at this point in her life, like feeling like she's in a box that she's just now starting to push open. I've always been a sort of wild child in terms
Can confirm.
I like to do what I want, or I just feel free. I feel free, and she's just now starting to feel free. So I guess the rigidity that she's been up against is something that was challenging. Oh, my favorite moments off stage are, I love messing with him before time. The first song of the show, we're just running the gamut, finding crazy ways to just get each other to giggle. There have been, I don't know, I've tried to take his shirt off to get him to that's TMI. No, he has 2 shirts on, so
yes, this is just one layer.
Yeah, just to give him more time to have to get ready to go on stage. It's just like, ha.
Yeah, I think we have a similar approach in that there are the moments sort of leading up to when we step out on stage where we sort of try to lock into the joy and whatever it is that we need to be feeling on stage. We sort of try to access those sort of feelings personally backstage before we step on. And so one of my favorite moments that we have that's not quite as giggly, but it's really special to me, is we sort of tap in before every show and we talk about where we're at and what our day's been like, and then we just take a few minutes to breathe together so that way when we step out we're really locked in and in tune. And that's an aspect of our relationship that I haven't really had with another artist. So that's been pretty cool for me. Yeah, I mean, like I sort of alluded to earlier, there's a lot of intersection of character and self here. And one of my favorite things about him is that he kind of moves through the world with this very hard-won peace about the way that he's experienced life. He had a lot of tragedy at a very young age, and that can very easily consume somebody. But he is always looking for the little pockets of joy, whether it's making music with his friends on the dock, or like he meets this, beautiful young woman that he sees so much potential in a partnership. And, instead of running away from the place where he grew up, that might be really traumatic. Instead, he finds the oldest, most abandoned house in the city and says, I'm going to give this house a second chance, and I'm going to refurbish it and bring love back into it. And so his sort of just resilience is really inspiring. And then as far as the musical approach, I think everything that he says, sings, does is an opportunity for him to communicate a piece of himself to the person that he's with. And so every song is an opportunity to reveal who he is. So yeah, he's pretty special.
A lot of my Allie comes from my own experience, but also like I'm watching a masterclass of Marianne Plunkett every night. I'm watching Joy Woods every night, so a lot of my Allie has also been inspired by them and their bravery that they bring. I collage sometimes, I write music, I pick flowers and press them, I cook. I think my life is creative. I think that's where Allie and I's lives sort of overlap is she's a very artistic person in the mundane too. It's just my life is artistic. That's the essence of it, I suppose.
I think that the show, as emotional as it is, kind of has a nice cathartic and joyful lift at the end. And so when I'm leaving the building, I don't necessarily feel the heaviness that I think I would feel if it ended any other way. That being said, when I get home, I do have a dog who depends on me. And so he sort of pulls me out of myself, and he's a friendly face to come home to.
I hope that young women especially see themselves in this, especially young black women, and just know that they can be beautiful and feel beautiful and receive this unconditional love that Allie gets. And that young people, I hope, watch this and say, no, I do know the truth. I do know what I feel. Because so often I feel like young people's voices are not valued, or they're challenged, and older voices come in and say, but you have to do this, you have to live your life this way. So I hope this gives some confidence to young viewers.
I hope that people recognize that their lives, whoever they are just as special and miraculous as the life that they're watching on stage, because life is not just the major moments, it's everything in between. And I think what makes Allie and Noah so special and draws people in is that everything to them is a memory worth banking. It's every hand touch, every tear, every unspoken thing is something worth writing in a journal and saving forever. So even if you're not keeping a journal of your day-to-day life, I hope that they're taking the time to appreciate how special it is to just be here with the people that they're with.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz.
Come see The Notebook.
We're at the Show and Felt Theater.
On Broadway.